What's up, everybody, man? How's everybody doing, man? We got 49ers versus the Cleveland Browns preview. We got my special guest, the first of the guests of this new channel that I had since my main channel was hacked. Let's welcome a Cleveland Browns fan, UngarToTheMax, man. How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good. This is not the first time you and I have talked, because I seem to remember you guys came into our house
Same place.
undefeated back in 2023, and you did not come out victorious. So
No, we came out bad.
Maybe you tell me you did it on accident, that you deleted that live stream, but maybe you did it on purpose because you don't want to remember that. Because I know you want revenge on me. I know you do.
As much as I want to say that it was accidental, but you know what? I got somebody to blame on, man. It was Jake Moody. Jake Moody cost us the game, and you guys played better. But speaking of the Cleveland Browns, man, it hasn't quite been to your guys' expectation. I know that the division could have been up for the pickings, but now it seems like Baltimore's going that direction. Steelers are holding up, but Steelers and Bengals, it's like you see them kind of go in between with Joe Burrow's situation, but now you see the Browns. It's like, what's going on with Cleveland? They had quarterback carousels.
You can say that again. We've had 3 different starting quarterbacks this season. Started with Joe Flacco, then it went to Dylan Gabriel. Now it's Shedeur Sanders. I think we've had, 42 different starting quarterbacks since we've come back?
A lot.
In 1999, it's been ridiculous. And who knows if Kevin Stefanski is still going to be our head coach next season. That remains to be seen.
Yeah, it remains to be seen what the situation, because I was about to ask you specifically, because I just don't know. The performance of Kevin Stefanski, it does seem very questionable, because even though he won Coach of the Year a couple seasons ago, he's kept the Browns very competitive. But like, do you think he's definitely going to be gone, or you think they'll keep him for another year?
I've tried to defend him. I've been one of the bigger Kevin Stefanski defenders, saying like he's a 2-time Coach of the Year. He's gotten us into the playoffs twice. You know, I don't think anybody expected us to get into the playoffs that second time when Joe Flacco came off his couch basically and had to be our starting quarterback, because I think that was the season where we beat you, actually, because we had Deshaun Watson go down. We had DTR. We had PJ Walker. It was bad.
Yeah.
It
was so bad, bro. It was so bad that PJ Walker beat us, bro. That's just how I can't take your guys. I can't take you guys lightly, because honestly, like, playing in Cleveland, we haven't won in 40 years. So even a Shedeur Sanders might give you guys a chance against us, because I don't know. But I got to give a shout out to my boy Myles Sports. Definitely check him out. I don't know. We'll see. I wouldn't take this game lightly. I'm not taking the Browns lightly whatsoever, man, because you got one of the top defense.
Right. And it's interesting when this game is happening specifically for you guys, because you played on Monday Night Football against Carolina, which I thought that was going to be a much more competitive game. All credit to your defense.
But offense was shit in the bed.
Yeah, for sure. Your offense was basically Christian McCaffrey.
Yep.
And nothing else. But, you know, you play on Monday night, so it's already going to be a short week for you. And then you have to fly cross country to come to Cleveland. My guess is you're probably going to fly here on Friday, maybe Saturday. So that shortens the practice week for you guys. So in my opinion, at least, that's an advantage for us.
Yes. I think what's more of the advantage for you guys is because this is your home field and you guys are more accustomed to this. We're not accustomed to this type of weather, and there is a good chance that it might just rain. That's what I'm hearing about.
It was bad conditions when you played us here in 2023.
Yes, it was. And as bad as the offense was, as much as I want to forget about this game, it was so ugly, bro. An ugly performance to the point where, dude, it didn't matter who you guys had at quarterback. PJ Walker, we thought this was going to be an easy dub, but you guys came up and show up, and your defense was playing good too. But, yeah, Myles Garrett, I don't know. There's a side of me that feels bad for Myles Garrett, man. He's
Trust me, I feel the same way. But, like, you know, I'm just like, he's becoming the defensive version of Joe Thomas for us. Like, Joe Thomas was longtime offensive lineman, played like 10,000 snaps or consecutive snaps or something like that. You know, he's in the Hall of Fame, rightfully so. He got his number retired with us. But aside from his rookie year when we nearly made the playoffs, he basically just dealt with losing season after losing season after losing season after losing season. Well, Myles Garrett, outside of the 2 years when we've made the playoffs, it's basically been losing season after losing season after losing season.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to kind of go the same way where Myles Garrett is just a monster. He eventually gets his number retired, you know, goes into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
I mean, his career's already been accomplished a lot of different ways,
Exactly.
but you know, he you know what he kind of reminds me of? He is this generation of Deacon Jones, because when you think of Deacon Jones, that Rams defense was so great, but they were so god awful.
Yes.
That's how Myles Garrett is. Like, he can break the NFL record. He's got 5 games to break the record. I'm confident he's going to break the record for damn sure.
Yeah. And like this whole offseason, I was saying the Browns need to trade him. But I've kind of changed my tune a little bit about that now. Because it's like, you had the chance to stand on business. Because, you know, he was the one who requested the trade. He could have stood on his stance, basically, and said, no, I want to be traded. But the Browns came to him and said, we have this great quarterback plan, and we want to give you $40 million. And he's like, where do I sign up? So he made his bed. Now he has to lie in it.
He has to lie on it. But, hey, I can't hate on Myles Garrett. If you're getting $40+ million just to play in Cleveland, bro, I'm not going to complain, man. I mean, he could just retire right now.
Healthy. Can you explain this to me? How is your defense still doing this with Nick Bosa injured? Fred Warner is injured. You've got all these injuries, and yet here you are again, right in the thick of the NFC West race. Your defense completely shut down Carolina.
Oh, I mean, if you would have told me this defense would have been still good with these amount of injuries, I would have told you you're out of your mind. But the depth pieces is just really stepping in. Like you see that we get a bunch of these guys to fill in the roles. Yes, losing Fred Warner sucks. Bosa, big loss, but I don't know how we're able to overcome it. I got to give credit to Robert Saleh. He knows how to make the most out of this defense. I mean, I don't think this is something we're no stranger to it, because we had it before with Robert Saleh in 2020 when it was a COVID year. We had injuries. Bosa was out for the year. We had some players out of the lineups here and there, but we still had a top unit defense under his regime before he became a head coach. So
it's interesting that he worked as a defensive coordinator with you guys, but when he became the head coach of the Jets, it did not work. And maybe that's just because, you know, it was the Jets and they're usually a very
bad environment, and he just didn't have enough. He didn't have enough time to get everything developed.
Right. I bet you if he got a second opportunity as a head coach in a more stable organization,
he probably would do just solid. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, for example, if we were to fire Kevin Stefanski, I would think he would be one of the names we would mention and talk to. Just pointing that out there.
Oh, I mean, it's a possibility. Like, I'm not even ruling it out, but man, it would just be like another. I I don't want to sound like a hater, but man, something about Cleveland, you guys just don't like your ownership is something that kind of seems like an issue.
Oh, trust me. I hate the Haslam so much. They it feels like they are the Jimmy Haslam more so. It feels like he is our version of Jerry Jones. Does he go
But more toxic.
Yes. But does Jimmy Haslam like get in front of the camera and get on the microphone and talk? No. But the way he runs this organization, it feels very similar to what Jerry is doing in Dallas.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, just something about working at Cleveland just seems more of a toxic, like from seeing from how your fan base experienced it. Like, even one of your other fan base, I always have fun with this guy's content because he's a funny guy, this El Presador dude. But the thing about your guys' culture, it's like, I don't know, like you had 42 different starting quarterbacks since 1999. That's just insane. Like,
I know.
There's a fan that has like so many jerseys of the quarterbacks' names.
Yeah, I know. We've had like Jake Delhomme, Derek Anderson, good God, Johnny Manziel, Brady Quinn, Seneca Wallace, Robert Griffin III, Colt McCoy. I could keep going on and on.
You go on and on. It's just the names never stop. That's the crazy. But like, okay, so speaking of like, speaking into existence, since we're already on to the quarterback discussion, I mean, I know people don't like. I mean, there's people who support this guy and there's people who don't like the guy. But let's talk about Shedeur Sanders. He's the one that broke the curse of something that hasn't happened in 30 years.
Yeah, he was the first rookie quarterback, I think it was, to win a game
since 1995, I believe. Before you guys left I mean, regardless of the name Sanders, I know he kind of rubs people the wrong way, but he's better than Dylan Gabriel. Unless you have a different opinion on how you feel about the quarterbacks.
I mean, so I was very much so on the Dylan Gabriel train. Like when we drafted him in the third round, I loved the pick because, I watched what he did at the University of Oregon last season. And I'm like, okay, that could work with the Browns. And I remember specifically in that top 3 showdown against Ohio State, and while Flacco was starting, I was very much on the Dylan Gabriel train. And when we drafted Shedeur, first of all, I don't understand why we drafted 2 rookie quarterbacks. That made no sense. I still can't explain it. But, I was not a big fan of it. And this is another example of Jimmy Haslam being very much involved. I believe he's the reason we drafted Baker Mayfield originally. And I think he's also the reason we ended up trading him. I think he's the reason we traded for number 4, which I was very much not in favor of. And I believe he's the reason we drafted Shedeur. I think if we had gone back to Dylan Gabriel after what Shedeur did in that game against the Raiders, I think the whole city would have launched a mutiny.
Ooh, I mean, they're getting behind Shedeur, so it tells you otherwise. But what's kind of like what makes me scratch my head a little bit when it comes to the Browns? Like, what was the point of trading Joel Flacco to your division? It's just mind blowing.
Yeah, I don't understand why we traded him to Cincinnati in essence to help the Bengals. That was definitely weird.
Even Mike Tomlin thought it was weird.
Yes. And the other weird part, even though I did not like when we had Joe Flacco, because I simply just don't forgive and forget his time with Baltimore and all the times that he beat us as a Raven. Like, for example, if I were a 49ers fan and Russell Wilson said, I'm leaving the Seahawks and I want to join the 49ers, if I were a 49ers fan, I would say, okay, I'll root for the team. I will not root for Russell Wilson because, at least for me, I don't forgive and forget his time with Seattle.
It was like it would be like a mixed feeling because I'm still going to root for the team, but I'm going to give you a chance regardless of the circumstances. I mean, yeah, I won't forgive the scars of what you've done. Like, it took me a while to get used to Richard Sherman. Yes. Sherman was somebody I couldn't like for a while, but I'm starting to like him more, so it's more like he's the least of the hate. You know, he could have been the number one public enemy, but he's become the most likable guy, so I can't.
Right.
I mean, I'm at a turning point with Michael Crabtree because he doesn't seem to appreciate us. I don't know.
No, it's interesting with Shedeur. Like, from what I heard, when he came into the game against Baltimore, the offensive line had never heard his cadence. So I'm not surprised that his first game was as woeful as it was. But for him to come out and play like that, given only a week of practice, that really says something to me. And yes, you guys have more tape of him because you get a full game. But in my opinion, the Browns still have a bit of an advantage going into this because Shedeur is still a rookie. He's still learning. So it's like he doesn't know what he should or should not do. So that I feel like, and tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like as a defense, that's harder to prepare for.
Yeah, there's different ways to prepare because he still has some experience games under the belt with the NFL because he already had his first start. That just because you got one full game out of him doesn't mean you don't know what his tendency can be because having another week of practice can make a huge difference. But as far as the advantage, like you said, you guys have more of the advantage because you guys had at least a day extra rest and you guys are at home. But it all comes down to how good you guys are. I think the difference of this matchup is Shedeur's more talented than PJ Walker. I'll just leave it at that. Like the talent's there. I think just getting those opportunities and the reps that he needs, I think he'll only get better. I guess playing the Raiders makes him build his confidence, man. I mean, hey, I'm not gonna hate on it, man. Like, hey, you beat the Raiders, I give you guys thumbs up because I can't stand those Raiders.
I wish they were still in Oakland, man. Yeah. But that's a different discussion for another day as my dogs are barking about something.
Yeah. The dog pound, right?
Yeah, literally. Like playing the Raiders, like they're worse than us. So hopefully you can still hear me. Sorry.
It's okay.
It's not really a great test. Whereas, yes, you guys have injuries, but you're a legitimate defense.
We played well.
Yeah. So even with Nick Bosa injured, Fred Warner injured, you guys are finding other pieces. You don't generate a ton of pressure on the quarterback, but you are able to. It was interesting, though, that you guys don't generally bring blitzes, but I saw you defensively blitzing Bryce Young more on Monday night.
Yeah, which is the most we've done all season from the looks of it. Yeah. Like, I think in order for us to get to Shedeur is like because the other previous week when he was getting a chance to play Baltimore, Ravens were able to blitz him a little more.
Yes.
We got to do something similar. The Raiders from the film, they didn't even do nothing. They didn't even blitz.
Yeah, Max Crosby was basically a non-factor. So that's why I'm wondering if Saleh is going to continue to blitz. Yeah,
I think he might do something like that because if it's especially against an inexperienced rookie quarterback, I think he's going to find different ways to get that quarterback confused. Like, he might do like something to where Upton Stout can blitz in, or maybe one of our safeties, or maybe try to get a creative way with Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff has been one of our best edge rushers. We got Clelin Ferrell, so he should be able to get more opportunities with the injuries. I feel like that's the only way we're going to have to get creative against you guys is just we're going to have to get more pressure on Shedeur. Shedeur's going to have his moments, and he's still a rookie, but what he had against the Raiders, I'm just looking at the film, and he had some nice passes, but then there were some passes where he was a little off on his passes, and then there was that one play where it resulted to a touchdown. If that happened under those circumstances, I'm pretty sure our linebackers will be quick on those plays. So we'll see. We'll see, but I'm not underestimating you guys because it's in your guys' field because it's a tough environment. So
yes,
it could be one or the other.
And we're probably only going to have the advantage of playing in off the shores of Lake Erie for a couple more years because we're having our groundbreaking ceremony sometime in 2026 for the new Dome Stadium in Brook Park, which is a suburb of Cleveland.
So you guys are going to have like a dome or something?
Yep. We're going to be building a new stadium.
No more of this outside stadium. Damn.
Nope.
I mean, are the Bengals going to be the only one having it, or are they going to have a new stadium too?
I haven't heard anything about Cincinnati building a new stadium.
I know the Bears are making one.
Yeah. And of course, you guys are hosting Super Bowl 60, just like you did back in 2015 for Super Bowl 50. So that's kind of interesting. But when I look at this 49ers offense, of course, it starts and ends with Christian McCaffrey. But of course, you also have to pay attention to George Kittle. He's one of the best tight ends in the game still. But with no Brandon Ayuk, and I know the team wants to get him back, there's nobody really in terms of the wide receiver group that truly scares me.
Nah, like honestly, there's not a guy that puts like top of the defense or nothing like that because like no offense to Jawan Jennings, he's been our most consistent receiver throughout last year, but he doesn't really scare much of the defense. He's a slow receiver, but he's very consistent at catching the ball. I mean, you look at Ricky Pearsall, can he come back to form like he was early in the season? Because I don't know, I think they're slowly trying to get him back to form, but it's like you said, Ayuk is the one that puts fear on defense a little bit, but he's just not the same player. And I don't even know if he's committed to the team because we voided his contract.
Right.
It doesn't rule out a return. It just means that they're trying to be wise with his health wise or something.
Right. From what I've heard, the team wants to bring him back, but like, does that concern you that you basically only have two weapons in Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle when you got, one of the top defenses in the league across from you?
It does because you don't have that one guy that can put a top on the defense or can at least separate at the consistent basis. I mean, Kittle will give you some plays. McCaffrey will get you some plays, but I think your DBs are going to match up well against Jennings and Pearsall. I need to see Pearsall come back to form, but I don't know if he's even at the full health right now. So I think this is why I call it more of a low-score game because you guys are going to give us a tough matchup. I think both teams are not going to score as much like what you had against Las Vegas. I don't think you're going to score anywhere close to 24. I think we're both going to score low score.
Yeah. Of course, I was at the game back in 2023, but due to personal reasons, I will not be attending this game. Last time we played you, we won that game 19-17. So that was also a bit of a lower scoring game.
Yeah, it can be one of those low score games, but man, I just got nobody to blame but Jake Moody. Moody, all he had to do was make the 41-yarder. That's all he had to do. I mean, I wouldn't want nothing more than a revenge from you because you guys have had our number, but getting a win over you guys at Cleveland would probably get that, what you call that curse off our back a little bit.
You know what's interesting though is when I look at the rest, we have 3 wins right now. And after this, we have a home game against Tennessee. So, and then we have games against Chicago, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati.
Those
If
are going
we're
to be
somehow able to get this game, like Tennessee doesn't really scare me. Okay, Chicago's a little intimidating. I actually think we can beat Buffalo because they're playing us in Cleveland right before they host Philadelphia. So that could be a trap game for them.
It could
And
be a
then,
trap because you guys are kind of like a cold weather team, just like them.
yeah. So maybe I'm crazy, but I see a path for us to get 4 more wins.
It's never possible to think that way because, you never know. Like
Right.
home field advantage or just, there's always that certain team that's just going to keep competing. So it's like,
yeah.
When you guys played Green Bay, did you really think you had a chance against Green Bay?
I did not.
Most Cleveland Browns fans would have just said the same thing. Like, no, we didn't have a chance. I'm just hoping we play a good game.
Yes. By the way, shout out Tom Grossi. I did a video collaboration with him for that game.
I got to get him on one day. But I was actually checking out your interview with him. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
30 minutes, right?
Yep. That's probably the biggest highlight of my YouTube career so far. Never thought I would get the opportunity to do a collab with him. But
shout out to him.
Yeah. But no, in terms of this game, like it does stink that Nick Bosa is injured because, that was one of the big time matchups I was watching when we played you a couple years ago was Myles Garrett against Nick Bosa because it's not often you get these premier defensive players going against each other. Like when we played Green Bay earlier this season, I was specifically looking at that matchup, even though they don't go against each other, of Micah Parsons against Myles Garrett. Same thing with Detroit with Aiden Hutchinson. Like, again, I get they don't go against each other, but it's still a fun matchup.
Like individual kind of like performance-wise, yes.
Yes.
Like, of course, but for Myles Garrett, his matchup would have to be against Trent Williams, unless, if I'm the Cleveland Browns, I would put Myles Garrett against Colt McKivitz. That would be my strategy if I'm a defensive coach. If I'm Jim Schwartz, I don't want to put Myles Garrett near Trent Williams. I would rather put him against Colt McKivitz. You want him to break the record? Let him go against McKivitz. He'll get it. No problem.
You think the 49ers will double Myles Garrett, or do you think they'll do more single and risk Brock Purdy getting wrecked?
I think that's the issue there. They might try to figure out a way to neutralize Garrett, because I think that's going to be the tough one. But if you put him one-on-one, that's going to be a long day. I think if you double him a bit, that might take away the pressure off of him, and then maybe you'd be able to do more on the pass. But I think we're mostly going to run the ball. So
yeah, which we've been pretty effective against the run game so far this season.
It's one of the top run defense from the looks of it, but the other game against Baltimore was a little different.
Yeah, I mean, when you have Lamar and Derrick Henry, it's hard to slow down their running game completely. Do you think but since you brought up the running game, let me ask you this question. Do you think the 49ers are too reliant on CMC?
Yeah, they rely too much on him. Like, dude, this guy gets so many touches. Like, and the crazy part is, bro, he's already leading the NFL in receptions.
That's insane.
81 catches, and he's already got like over 214 carries.
So that's why I'm wondering,
they're too reliant on him.
I know we got Brian Robinson from the Commanders in a trade, but it seems like you don't really use him a lot.
Not a lot, but recently we've been able to get him some touches more. Now he's getting 6 to 5 touches a game now. Slowly.
Right. But that's still a majority, more than a majority, is going to McCaffrey.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, do you think Shanahan is reluctant to go to Brian Robinson? Is it just how much he trusts CMC?
It's got to be the trust with CMC. I think he'll slowly get Robinson some touches, but it's more on the trust on what he sees from McCaffrey. He's going to give him the most out of it. My main concern for this matchup is Shanahan versus Schwartz. It's just Schwartz has the advantage. He just knows Shanahan's tendency. It's like when you play against one another, it seems like Jim Schwartz just has the upper edge.
Yeah. And like I said, it might not turn out to make a true difference in the game, but the fact that you guys played on Monday Night Football and you have to travel across the country, that could mean you lose a day of practice. Whereas, yes, we played in Vegas, but we played on Sunday, so we still had Monday, Tuesday. Well, we might not have had Monday because of Victory Monday, but still, like.
But there's a different advantage-wise. I mean, it can be home field advantage. It can be the rest advantage. I don't think we'll just know how the game plays out. Is how we look at it.
Right. Like, if we do ultimately end up winning, I'm not going to say that was the deciding factor.
Or it could just be the fact that you guys put a voodoo on us. I don't know.
Interestingly, when I last looked, you guys were a 6-point favorite on the road against us.
That's what I don't understand. Like, this is more of a low-score game from the looks of it. I'm like just surprised as you. Like, I'm thinking, okay, just because the record of Cleveland is what they are, have you guys seen the last time we won in Cleveland? I wouldn't take that for granted.
Yeah.
I mean, the last time they won, I want to sound a little hopeful. I want to sound a little hopeful on this game. Okay, so in 1984, this is what happened. Joe Montana threw 4 interceptions against the Bengals and won. Following week, he dominates the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. So, can Brock Purdy do it? I don't know. Just a little optimistic thought. I don't know.
Yeah. I get that.
Just a little thought of it.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, when we beat you here in 2023, I think CMC got hurt during that game. I believe Debo got injured during that game. Yeah,
he got hurt on the shoulder, and I think Trent was pretty much like...
Yeah, so I have to admit, we partially won that game because of who you lost. I'm not to take any credit away from what we did, but when you
guys took advantage. You guys took advantage of the opportunity. No, I'm never going to discredit on any team's victory. You guys took advantage. That's what matters. Yeah. It's all about next man up. Like, even as much as it hurts my pride, yeah, we lost the NFC Championship to the Philadelphia Eagles, but hey, you guys, injuries happen. I'm not going to hold on to it like that, but it's just unfortunate luck for everything. Everything happens for a reason. Like, when you guys beat us in Cleveland, it just, things happen. Carolina, if J.C. Horn wasn't injured, what kind of outcome could it have been? Don't know.
Then again, Bryce Young was giving you guys early Christmas presents.
Oh, man. Bryce Young was the one that kept on giving. I mean, Brock was given some opportunities, but Carolina's offense says, nah, we'll pass.
Yeah. And we'll see if Brock gives us those same opportunities. I think Shedeur will be able to cash in, but my problem is I don't feel like we have a definitive number 1 wide receiver right now. You know,
you're not sure about Jerry Jeudy?
No, I'm not. Like, even when we had Amari Cooper, I didn't definitively say we have a number 1 wide receiver. I don't know the last time we had a number 1 wide receiver. You know, when you guys, like you said, when Ayuk is around for you guys, he's your go-to guy. Like, it's 3rd down and 5. Where's Ayuk? Or it would be George Kittle. I don't feel that same way here in Cleveland, where it's like, we have that definitive go-to guy when it's 3rd and 5 or it's 4th and 2, and we gotta have it. I don't feel like we have a definitive go-to guy.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you look at our receivers, I don't think we have anyone right now. So it's pretty much evenly the same, except Kittle and McCaffrey are like the go-tos. But when I look at this matchup wise, I mean, What's the keys for the game for, the Cleveland Browns to just pull up a win against us? I mean, we've seen it happen. I don't know how many times, but what's the key for you guys to beat us?
Well, first of all, Myles Garrett has to affect the game early. It's hard to completely shut down Christian McCaffrey, but slow him down and try and force you guys to be more of a one-dimensional offense. And then just put together methodical drives. Run the ball early with Quinshon Judkins. I'd like to see us use Dylan Sampson in the run game more. And then with Shedeur, I know this is your first home start, your second NFL start, but you're going against a legit NFL defense. I don't want to see him heaving the ball 20 to 25 yards down the field if it's not there. Don't force anything. Take the smart passes.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be the most important key. I mean, as far as the Niners' key to winning this game, we're going to have to get the running game going because I think that's going to neutralize Myles Garrett. I mean, because I think if you run the ball well, that will definitely take away what he does. I mean, he's a good run stopper too, but I think if you run effectively, it kind of slows it down a little bit. Brock Purdy just needs to manage the game. I don't want him to be hero ball. Brock, just do a good job.
So we're kind of similar in that regard.
Yeah. Can the Niners
I'm saying that about Shedeur, and you're saying that about Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I don't want Brock to do too much. I want him to do enough to win this one because I get it. He likes to take chances. I do appreciate that. But he does need to be wise on some situations because against this defense and this team, you don't want to give away opportunities to this Cleveland Browns because regardless of the record, this is a team that's fighting. So I don't take a team for granted.
Hey, that's why Green Bay lost to us.
They lost because they overlooked you guys, and I think they just didn't know what they were getting themselves into.
And Jordan Love made some dumb decisions late in that game.
He did that in the playoffs also, so we see how he is. But the other main key for this to be successful is we got to be able to limit your offense to way less points. If we're gonna beat you guys, I mean, we're probably not gonna score a lot, but we're probably gonna have to make sure your offense doesn't score nothing more than maybe 7 or 10 points, I would think. But it's gonna be tough because I think there's gonna be opportunities, especially with Shedeur Sanders and your running game with Judkins. I think there's going to be some couple screen passes. I think there's going to be a couple plays to the tight end that we probably have to be aware of. I mean, from watching your guys' film, I see that you guys mostly try to give the ball to your tight end, and sometimes
David
it goes.
Njoku, yes.
Yeah, he's the one guy that. Yeah, he's the one guy.
Or Harold Fannin Jr., the rookie.
Oh, I like that kid. The one kid from Bowling Green. I interviewed his teammate.
Oh, nice.
The linebacker. I don't think he's been signed by any other team, but he's from Cleveland. But there's another guy. You had Jerry Jeudy was like your other go-to guy, but he hasn't been quite effective.
No, he really hasn't. And that's why I was saying earlier, I don't feel like we have a definitive go-to guy. Maybe Harold Fannin Jr.
Well, he made a nice couple break tackles on those plays, man. That's the guy.
So maybe he can turn into that go-to guy like I was just saying earlier.
Yeah. I don't think we match up well with tight ends, but I think if you guys do what you do, and I think that could be a mismatch issue. But yeah, I would think slowing down your offense and limit them less than 10 points would be if we can have that similar performance like against Carolina, then maybe we have a chance. But I think giving CMC the ball down the field would probably be I think CMC as a receiver is more effective than him as a runner in this matchup.
Yeah. You know what's interesting, though, is when I was at the game back in 2023, it seemed like half of the stadium was red. And I think that's because your owners or something are from Youngstown, which is right outside of Cleveland. So, yeah, it was crazy. I can tell you for certain I was not expecting that because my whole thinking was San Francisco is quite far from Cleveland. I was predicting maybe 10% at most of the stadium would be 49ers fans. And then I get to the game and half of the stadium is red. I'm like, what? What is this?
But I heard they got a pretty deep fan base down there too. So it's like I know a couple of guys who are a part of a chapters in Ohio too. So it's like I think there's a couple of guys I know that live down Cleveland.
Yeah. So it should be a very interesting game on Sunday. I have this on as one of my top 7 games to watch for this week. Excuse me.
Okay. So just from realistic score prediction,
yes.
Okay, so give me your breakout player in this matchup. Who you think is going to do well for the Browns, and how do you look at the scoreboard? How you think realistically? We can go with the win or loss. Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be. Yeah,
I think my breakout player. I'm going to say the rookie tight end Harold Fannin Jr. And in terms of score and who wins, I'm one of these Browns fans that tries to keep things realistic. If I don't think the Browns are going to win a game, I'm not going to pick them. But in this case, being that it's at home and the weather conditions and the fact that basically you only have George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey, I think we can pull this one out. I'll say we win 17-10.
Ooh, so you win by a touchdown. Okay, I like the confidence, man. Like, we got to wait and see what happens. But, hey, I get it because you guys have the advantage at home, and we haven't won in 40-plus years. As far as the way I feel.
I don't trust your offense. Like, I know I can count on George Kittle. I know I can count on CMC. But let's say we are able to neutralize the two of them.
It becomes a tough matchup, yeah. Like,
exactly.
I think that's what's going to be the challenging part, but we'll see. Like, I think as far as that, I'm more concerned about your defense more than your offense, if I'm being honest.
Understand? Hey, that's totally understandable. When you have Myles Garrett on the other side,
yeah,
I get it.
That man looks like he's going to be charged for murder, man, for taking our players out, man. Nah, but in this realistic score, a side of me is nervous, but at the same time, something just tells me something's going to change. I mean, it's going to be a very close game. It's going to be a low-score game. I kind of see it go down like, let's say 13-17 Niners. I don't know. Something just tells me we're going to overcome adversity. Because the injuries, bro. We have so many injuries, and everybody kept running us off.
Right.
And the curse and all this stuff that we've been breaking down, it seems like we tend to break streaks recently. So it's like,
yeah, that's true.
Like, dude, how many injuries we've had, and we're still fighting. I don't know why.
Yeah, you're still right in the mix for the NFC West. And you already split with the Rams this season.
Yeah, and I think we still want to make a push for that division either way. So it's like,
yeah,
you guys may be a challenge, but I think you guys are going to fight hard, and it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a dogfight. So,
am I crazy for thinking that if we're able to win this game and pick up what would be our 4th, am I crazy for thinking that we can climb back into the AFC playoff picture?
Well, if you like from your loss record, what are you guys like 4-7, right?
Right now we're 3-8.
Oh, that's a tough one. It's a very tough one, depending on how bad the AFC is, but it's kind of tough. But hey, if you guys win out, then you guys are building some momentum right there. You're building something for next year. Maybe Shedeur Sanders should be the guy you build around it. If you guys keep winning and all that, I think that's who you need to build around, is let Shedeur build around. And if you're not sold with him the following year, you get a quarterback next year, but you want to at least build around this kid.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give you guys credit. The fact that Brock Purdy went out, Mac Jones has come in. From what I heard, Shanahan wanted Mac Jones from the beginning. He didn't want Trey Lance.
In the draft he did, but they were forcing him to get Trey Lance. That's the insane part.
I was at that draft when you guys took Trey Lance because that was here in Cleveland.
It had to be fun at the draft, huh? Then you
Yeah.
get to meet a bunch of those other people.
I actually got to meet Mac Jones's parents or something because they were on my flight the next day down to Raleigh, North Carolina.
That had to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
As far as that, man, like for those people who are not familiar with your channel, man, tell everybody where they can find your social media platform.
Yeah, so my YouTube channel is called UngarToTheMax. I do a lot of Cleveland Browns content. I also do a good amount of Cleveland Cavaliers content. I do video collaborations on the channel. I try to do a video collaboration for every game on the Browns schedule. And I also run the sports room. I send that out every Friday morning. That just goes over some of the big stories in the world of sports. I'll put a link to that in some of my upcoming videos. And I'm also on Twitter, but it's a private account, so I usually have to accept you. So the better way to follow me is through YouTube, UngarToTheMax, as it's read there.
UngarToTheMax, man. That's what's up. And may the best team win. Good luck this Sunday, even though I want a win, but I wish you luck on this one, man.
Right, because I know you want payback because you say you accidentally deleted the live stream. I think you did it on purpose because you don't want to remember that 2023 game.
I don't know, bro. It's just it was unfortunate, like how these little storages were a little. But if you want to think that way, I guess.
Sure, that's
oopsie me.
Whoops! What that collab never happened. I don't know what you're talking about.
But in all seriously, man, you seem like a good Browns fan, and to be honest with you, it was hard to find a Cleveland Browns fan, and you just came and reached out to me a couple years ago, and I definitely appreciate it, man. So any other Browns fan, I'm going to look for you, man. Got you.
I appreciate it. Anytime we meet up with the 49ers, you're going to be the first guy I reach out to.
Definitely appreciate it, man. So it's like where I come from, a Browns fan is like Bigfoot to us. But I found one, so I'm not going to ever have to look any further.
Yeah, I found the 49ers fan. I'm not going to continue looking unless for some reason you're not available.
If I'm not available, but I'm on Twitter, man, anytime, man. But thank you guys for tuning in. And hey, man, Niners and Browns, we'll see who the better team is on Sunday.
We shall see.
For sure.